Seer's pick rate has gone up significantly since the ALGS Year 2 LAN Championship. Seer is now a top 10 legend when it comes to pick rates and arguably the best recon legend in the game. Seer's kit needs a specific type of playing style which you have to adapt. This guide will help you to better understand your role in the team, with Seer properly utilize his abilities. This isn't going to be one of those guides where I go over his basic abilities and what they can do. Moreover, I'll be giving you in-depth detail about his respective abilities and how they tie into his kit overall, also with how to use his abilities. Before I go in depth with his passive, a thing you need to do with Seer is spend more time getting used to spinning around while aiming down sights without your gun, cause Seer's passive ability can be used without holding down his tactical. You can just use your ADS button while running around, but this does slow you when you are scanning with his passive, so you need to practice moving your right analog stick / mouse around quickly. You can practice this in the firing range. For us controller players, you won't be able to spin at the same speed as M&K players, but you can keep up your momentum by bunny hopping or wall jumping into the scan. His heartbeat sensor is the most important part of his kit. His ability to pick up on heartbeats on enemies within a 75 meter distance, as I've said previously before, this can be activated by ADSing. You don't have to activate your tactical to use this ability. When an enemy is within the range of your passive, it will show an orange arrow indicating to their location. When an enemy is within range, the whole reticle will turn orange. With this ability, you should always be playing the forward scout on your team. Your ability to pick up enemy locations actively instead of a scan like Bloodhound or Crypto, who has to resort to their drone, is really important. It is near impossible for a Seer to get ratted on in ranked as long as you are actively scanning for enemies. By being your team's forward scout, you are responsible for literally as it says, scouting. You have to be playing forward trying to collect information for you and your teammates to find open spots in zones, rats, enemy teams, isolating fights, etc. This is the playing style you have to adapt with Seer, since that you have unlimited wall hacks. This is his role in a team, and this is what probably makes him hard to play, because you have to be a scout with his passive and you have no escape ability in his kit when you eventually get caught out in the open from your team. This was probably one of the hardest things I myself had to learn how to do properly, because I don't play legends that don't have some form of escape ability when I'm playing that far from my team, like how you would with Seer. His passive is the main reason why you have to adapt a different playing style with him. Also, be aware of your setbacks and limitations when scouting. Seer's tactical is one of the most important part of his kit. His focus of attention ability allows you to scan enemies, revealing their health and shield. The most important part of this tactical isn't the scan, but it's the interrupts that you can do with his scan. His scans disable heals and legend abilities for 1.7 seconds, which is the most important part of his scan. Revealing enemy location is more used for his ultimate, but I'll get to that later. The thing with most people who play Seer or try him out is that they waste their scans to first engage the fight like they would do with Bloodhound. But Seer's scan is best used to finish off a team. With the additional ability to interrupt heals, abilities and revives, it's best to use his ability to give your team the opening on a team instead of to gather information with the scan. This is very situational though, cause sometimes it's best to collect the information with the scan to see the enemy team's shield before you decide to take that 3v3. It's all about situational awareness when it comes down to it and your own decision making. But from my personal experience, it all depends on your own situations, as I just said. At times I will engage with my scan to see if the enemy team or enemy has a better shield than me, especially early game. Mid to late game I use my scans mainly to interrupt heals, revives and abilities, because I know at this point I can take a 3v3 regardless of my team's shield situation, because we should all have blues or purple shields by now. Pair this with his passive ability to ensure that you line up the tactical to hit your opponent, because it does have a delay. Also, the area of effect is a cylinder, so it's really easy to miss with it. You should always try to lead your tactical, especially if the enemy you are fighting is away from their team, because as soon as they get low, they'd want to run back towards their teammates. And if they are near their team and playing hand in hand, still try to lead your tactical, because they may be bunny hopping while popping a bat or a medkit. As I said, I mainly use Seer scans to allow openings for me and my teammates, and I personally think that is the best way to use his scan. Seer's ultimate is his exhibit, where he throws out his heart chamber and covers an area in a sphere of micro drones, which reveals players' locations as long as they are moving within the area of the ultimate. This can be countered by crouch walking, mirage, or revenant. This ultimate can be destroyed, so it's best to throw it in an area where the enemy team cannot easily destroy it. You should use this ultimate when engaging in a fight so that you can see where enemies are coming from or where they are. You can also use this ultimate in defensive situations, i.e., if one of your teammates get downed in a poke battle, you can use your ultimate to gain the information in case the enemy team decides to push you after downing your teammates, or if you finish a fight and you didn't use your ultimate, you can use it to reveal if a third party is coming into that fight so that you can be prepared for that third party. His ultimate is really good because you can have it for almost all engagements, whether it's mid, early or late game, because the cooldown time on it is so low. Seer's role in your team is to scout, as I've mentioned before. You need to always be scouting out areas with your passive ability, whether it be that you're directly in front of your teammates trying to gather information or checking their back. Your job as the scout is to collect information or relate to your team, but you have to be mindful that you don't have the escape ability as other legends such as Wraith, Valk, Horizon, etc. So you have to be mindful of where you are and try to scout while playing cover so that you don't get caught out. Seer is a complicated legend to play and requires you to think and adapt a different playing style that you are used to with average recon legends. But with putting in the hours on Seer and getting used to his role in the team and this kit, I'm sure you'll be farming with Seer in pubs or in ranked.